Best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos with top juveniles in action for our first Futurity of the year, the Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity, on Sunday night, May 12th. The field is led by fastest qualifier Fear and Fridays, plus My Bud, Cedar Hill, and Zoomin' on Home. And trainer Jaime Gomez will go after his 9th victory in this race with the filly Play Misty, plus 5 other top juveniles. The Kindergarten Futurity, the best of quarter horse racing, always at Los Alamitos.
That's right, the Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity is this Sunday night at Los Alamitos Racecourse. 10 outstanding 2-year-olds will be in action in this race at 300 yards. And the Robert Adair named in honor of one of the greatest jockeys in American quarter horse racing history. And the fillies have been dominant in this race. In fact, the last 4 winners have been fillies. And speaking of dominance, no one has been more dominant in this race over the years than trainer Jaime Gomez. He's won this race 8 times. He's got 2 runners going this Sunday night, and guess what? Both of them are fillies. One of them, Play Misty, owned by Dutch Masters 3. Dutch Masters 3 has won this race 4 times. And the other filly, Exploiter, owned by Antonio Diaz, gives Jaime Gomez a really strong pair of contenders in the Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity. Speaking of contenders, Monty Arrossa will be saddling a couple of runners in this race. Monty has won this race each of the last 3 years. Let's see what Monty has to say about the fastest qualifier, that's Fear and Fridays. Tell me about this runner. The gamblers liked him first out. They let him go at a little bit of a higher price, and he comes through this time.
Yeah, the 2 actually that qualified tonight, they've been work partners. They've had a couple of good workouts together, and both look like we're progressing along. Here on Fridays, his first out, he drew the rail. He was a little green. He really needed the race. Tonight, he drew the rail again. The race definitely benefited him. He ran a real professional race. Very happy with him.
He was from connections that have won this race before. Mr. Young's going to look to win the kindergarten for the 4th year in a row. Tell me about this horse. You mentioned already had some really nice workouts against a pretty sharp worker.
Yeah, we've liked what he's done in the mornings. Came over here tonight. He got a little hot and was a little nervous in the paddock, and so he definitely needed the race. He ran a nice race on the outside. You never know what they're going to do when they're on the outside kind of by themselves, but he handled it pretty professional. He got beat by a really nice horse. Really happy for Randy Young, Dennis Jensen, Lex Fabrizio to have another one in the kindergarten for those guys.
Now, Keith Nelson and Heath Taylor will have 3 runners in contention in the Kindergarten Futurity. My Bud, Zooming on Home, and Set the Edge, all of them geldings. And Keith Nelson will be looking for his first victory in the kindergarten, and Heath Taylor will also be looking for his first win in this great race. We talked to Heath Taylor about his contenders heading into the kindergarten. Nice way to finish out the trials tonight with the 2nd fastest qualifying time here for My Bud. And just looking at this horse's gait works, you can tell that he's a little bit of a handful in the gait, but you did some corrections. You added that flipping halter at his last work. What did you think of how the horse performed, with that little equipment change?
Yeah, the horse, he's always shown talent, but like you said, he's pretty high-spirited, and after we started getting the qualifiers and he started getting a little taste of it, he got a little speed silly is what I would say, just a little wound up, and a little engine got going a little too fast. Did a lot of schooling, and some of the qualifiers in the mornings he was a little bit of a handful to load, but the good part about it is he was always really, really good in the gate. But he was not too good behind the gate and not loading. So we've been practicing, and I was real happy with how he saddled in the paddock, because when we schooled him, he was a little bit of a handful. Once they qualify, it turns out to be a good thing. But this horse was in the night that they canceled the races, and Zooming on Home was in the night they canceled the races. So several of these horses were set up to get a maiden race, to get some of these kinks worked out of them, but luckily they were able to everybody was in the same boat though, so they come back, and he was a lot more professional tonight. But he's for sure, he's not a kid's horse. He's a handful.
Zooming on Home, nice duel there between him and Cedar Hill. Cedar Hill, like you mentioned, had some experience even running the little stakes race out there.
Yeah, Cedar Hill's a good horse. I know Eddie, he had early in the year, he mentioned thought the horse had a pretty good bit of talent, and he had 2 night races at Remington Park, already run 3:30 twice. So I'm sure and he was getting in, had a little bit of trouble, and just shipped out, so he'll probably improve too. But same kind of thing. I was really tickled. You always want to win, but I thought zooming on home to run against the horse that's dueled with that horse and having gotten the races canceled and running 300, he'll probably be a little fitter, a little bit more bottom to him. We need to school him a little bit more in the gate. He was a little bit rambunctious in there. I don't know exactly for sure what we're going to do, but he was lifted a time or two in there. But they're, you know, it's tough on these 2-year-olds. You want them to stand there perfect, but at the same time, you want them to break and explode. Later on in the year, it's not that big a deal as you school them and stand them, but right now, they're just now learning the hand opening and the breaking, so they don't know whether to stand or every noise that they hear. It's really challenging. So as they get seasoned and stuff, they'll get a little bit better. So they'll both, you know, obviously they'll have to run a little bit better to win the finals, but hopefully they'll come back happy and healthy and have a chance.
Thanks so much. We continue this rapid fire preview show. Let's take a look at Michael Rona's selection as well as Chris Wade's selection in the Kindergarten Futurity. Michael Rona is gonna go with zooming on home. He's looking to see if adding the flipping halter to zooming on home will make the horse more comfortable and perhaps get him that victory in the Kindergarten final. Meanwhile, Chris Wade is gonna go with My Bud from the rail. My Bud winning his trial in really impressive fashion. This horse has been lights out, not only in the gate works, but also in his racing debut. And I actually agree with Chris Wade. My top selection in the Kindergarten is indeed My Bud. A super field, though, anybody can win. And remember, the fillies have been very dominant. Keith Nelson with some outstanding runners in this race. It's going to be an outstanding race. Can anybody beat Jaime Gomez here in the Kindergarten with his fillies? It's going to be a good one. Now, the 9 races on tap on Sunday get underway at 6:10 p.m. We also have an outstanding 9-race card on Saturday. That's headed by the Dillingham Handicap. And the first 2 finishers in the Los Alamitos Winter Derby will rematch in the Dillingham Handicap. BP Cartel Policy going against Ready For It. Should be a great one. It's at 400 yards. That's the same distance as the Los Alamitos Winter Derby. And as we wrap up this rapid fire preview show, thank you for Jose Contreras, who was the host of the preview show for many, many years. We wish him the best of luck as he moves on to new ventures in his career. Thank you so much, Jose. Wish you the best of luck. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you here at the races at Los Alamitos Racecourse.
Best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos with top juveniles in action for our first Futurity of the year, the Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity, on Sunday night, May 12th. The field is led by fastest qualifier Fear and Fridays, plus My Bud, Cedar Hill, and Zoomin' on Home. And trainer Jaime Gomez will go after his 9th victory in this race with a filly Play Misty, plus 5 other top juveniles. The Kindergarten Futurity, the best of quarter horse racing, always at Los Alamitos.